Hello my friends, welcome to yet another ranking video. I've made a lot of these. Anyway, today I'm going over Nick Rick Games, or NRG for short, and I'm joined by a special guest to tell you about it.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm the creator of NRG and Nick Rick Games. Um, and thank you so much for having me on. So, the NRG series, like what it is a group of video game characters all together in this universe and they go on wacky misadventures. And it's basically like just like an alternate universe of SMG4, but my own take on it. I do like the story driven types of universes, so that's what I usually try to go with also some comedy in there, of course. But yeah, I'd say like Energy is something very special to me because it has a bunch of my favorite fictional characters all together in a universe, hanging out, chilling out, and going on fun adventures or whatever the hell I want them to do. And it's been an absolute blessing working on this show. That's it. Thank you so much for having me on, and back to you, James.
Thanks, Nick. Now let's get to the video. Mario and Sonic are arguing as always, but then they run off to blow up a dragon? Okay then. They bust into his house and blow him up. Meanwhile, Tails' machine goes haywire and brings with it a messed up clone of Axel. I mean, basically nothing happened in this one. Mario and Sonic did do something illegal though, so there is that. I don't know, it's fine. Everyone is confused by the Axel clone. Tails tries to talk to it, but it isn't budging. So Sonic and Axel attempt to fight it, which goes surprisingly well, actually. Turns out he's from a world similar to the SMG4 world. Oh yeah, the NRG universe is slightly different to the SMG4 universe. Anyway, moving on. The clone is named Sinister, and he's a ne'er-do-well in his world. They offer to welcome Sinister into their world, so Mario and Sonic show him around and stuff. Tails says he'll find a way for him to get back home, but Sinister has other plans. This one was better than the last one, but still, it's just okay. It's Easter, so Shadow set up an Easter egg hunt for everyone, and Tari clues in Sinister on what Easter is. They go looking for eggs, but can't seem to find any, until 2 hours later, it's revealed the egg hunt was all a prank, and they kick Shadow's ass. This was pretty uneventful, and wasn't even much of an Easter special if I'm gonna be honest. Bottom of the list. Some of the episodes are done in this SML-like toy style. This should be fun. The machine to bring back Sinister is almost complete, but it needs one more Chaos Emerald, so Sonic, Luigi, and Vector head out to find another. Luigi suggests they split up, so they do that, I guess. They search for a couple of hours, but don't have any luck. Then Sonic has an idea. Down the toilet he goes. They meet back up after another few hours and still haven't found it. But turns out, Victor had one all along, and Sonic flushed himself for nothing. They give the emerald to Tails so he can finish the machine. This episode was great. I love the humor. The new video style, while being jarring at first, was actually pretty charming, and Sonic cussing his guts out all the time was just amazing. Best episode yet. Back in Gmod, Tails has finished the machine, and it's ready to send Sinister back to his rightful universe. Sonic goes to gather the others so he can share the news, but the thing is, nobody knows where Sinister is. Axel and Sonic head off to find him, where they see him walking into the basement. Here they discover he's rigged the castle to blow up, complete with a giant missile and all. This was a fun one. Finally getting the explanation for the bomb Sinister placed in the Sinister situation was cool too. This one's going below the last. Sinister has placed a giant nuke in the middle of the castle, ready to detonate it and destroy everything. Not to mention, he's tied everyone up so they're powerless against it. But Sonic manages to break out, and he's gonna take out Sinister. Sonic fights him for a bit, but then Mario joins in the fight too. But Sinister ain't going down easy, so Axel reluctantly brings out his Zero form. I mean, the fighting was cool, but this episode was over like instantly. I'll put it above Mario and Sonic do something very illegal, but now it's time for the arc's finale. Axel and Sinister go head-to-head in a, well, all-out battle. Axel is about to kill Sinister, but Sonic tries to stop him and he turns back to normal. Sinister revealed that the reason he wanted to blow up the castle is because he wanted to stay, but everyone assures him that even if they're worlds apart, they'll always be friends. But the power of friendship can't stop that massive fucking nuke in— Oh, wow. Sinister just ate it. They pose for a group photo and send Sinister back home with a heartfelt goodbye, closing out the arc. The finale of the Sinister Arc had some pretty wholesome moments, but I think that Chaos Emerald one was better. It's still a great episode though, and it's going right below it. Despite being pretty rough around the edges, the Sinister Arc has quite a bit of charm to it. What do you think, Nick?
The very first arc I ever did was the Sinister Arc, which originally wasn't supposed to be an arc. It was a collab that I did with a YouTuber friend of mine. She ended up asking, hey, would you like to use my character and put him in your universe? We could do a bit of a collab thing that goes on for a while. So I ended up making the decision of making an arc. And that was the very first NRG arc. I think it was good for the skills I had back then. I definitely love those old videos because that meant so much to me. And it was my first arc, so I was like really excited to get the story out for them. For the Sinister Arc, my favorite episode from that one was probably the Easter egg hunt, like the Easter special I did. I don't know, I just had so much fun just making them just do stupid, funny things. I thought that was really cool.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that one. Now, let's get to the second arc, the Eggman Empire. Characters have voice acting now. Luigi is stressing about asking out Tari, but Eggman gives him some tips, which strengthens his confidence. Everyone points out how Eggman has gone soft, so he sets out to prove he's evil. But this fails as nobody considers him evil anymore. He's devastated upon this revelation, and walks off to clear his head. Also, Luigi's offer to Tari worked. This was a massive step up in quality, and was better than most of the Sinister Arc episodes, to be honest. Tails blasts Sonic into a strange new land using another one of his wacky machines. He's sent right into the world of the amazing digital circus. Sonic gets introduced to the cast, and he explains where he's from. After seeing his speed, Kane turns to catching Sonic into the adventure of the day, so Sonic does his best to evade everyone and avoid getting caught. Eventually, no one could catch him, and Kane gives him the wish, so Sonic, being Sonic, wishes for a chili dog and heads out of there, allowing the digital circus characters into the real world too. This episode was awesome. It was pretty funny, and Sonic having his whole not giving a shit attitude with everyone was great. Vector gets a phone call from an unknown individual. He tasks him with kidnapping a silver robot and bringing it to him. So Victor recruits Espio, and they set off to look for it. Espio searches far and wide for him, and then the robot shows up, telling them to surrender to the quote Eggman Empire. Vector gets shot down, so Espio tries to take it out. But Vector recovers and manages to take it down with pure stupidity. Also, the one employing them was Dr. Eggman all along. This was a good episode, but it felt pretty disjointed and all over the place, so I'll put it at the bottom. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Luigi goes up to Tari and asks her out for a date, and much to his shock, she says yes. He's terrified of messing up the date, but the guys reassure him that everything will be fine. Tari's having the same issues with the girls, but again, they tell her it'll turn out fine. The date begins, and it's a little awkward, but going well for the most part, until both Tari and Luigi's friend group show up and crash it. This makes Luigi inadvertently confess his love to her, so the others leave and they share a fun night together, after which Tari gives Luigi his first kiss. And behind the scenes, Eggman has given rise to a Sonic robot. If you know I'm an Owl House fan, you know I'm a sucker for romance episodes, and the little teaser for the Sonic bot at the end was cool, but this was just a cute, wholesome episode, and it's the best one yet. Sonic, Silver, and Knuckles are hanging out and remark about the recent absence of Eggman, when a robotic Sonic soldier shows up to kick some ass. So the fight is on, but this guy is tough. The three guys tap into their powers and take him out pretty easily though. After defeating him, they see that the robot had an Eggman logo on it. Then Eggman sends out another soldier. This episode was over pretty quick, but did a good job for what it was, going below Sonic and the Amazing Digital Circus. Espio brings up the mysterious circumstances surrounding Eggman lately, but everyone dismisses him because they think Eggman is on their side, until another Sonic droid packing lead shows up saying all hail the Eggman Empire. They ask him what his plans are, but he ain't talking. So Axel goes zero mode and puts an end to him. And SBO and the gang head off to warn the others. Meanwhile, Eggman is busy planning the next phase of his mission. This one's going above the last one. Mario and Tails are fighting over a Nintendo Switch when Tari comes in asking where Luigi is. They think he's at the door, but it's actually Metal Sonic from last time. Mario thinks he's joking, but quickly gets his ass handed to him. Tari tries to stop him, but she's taken out too. Mario gets the idea to pin him down and tag team him. Kane shows up briefly, but he's gone just as fast. Luckily, Mario powers up to Fire Mario and beats the shit out of Metal Sonic. I mean, he really lets him have it. With Metal Sonic taken down, Eggman sends out the next soldier, Chaos Sonic. This was a great episode, going above that Digital Circus one. Kamek, Shadow, and Sonic are heading to the grocery store when Chaos Sonic shows up in full force. So the trio tries to take him down, but this is the toughest robot yet. Even with all three of them trying their best, he's still not flinching. Kamek uses his wand to hold him in place and the other two tear him up. After this, they realize Eggman is planning on attacking the castle, so they rush back to see what he's up to. After reflecting on how he's gone soft, we get a short recap of the evil stuff Eggman has done in the arc. Every group converges at the castle. They recount their run-in with Eggman's soldiers, and Luigi and Tari reunite. Everyone thinks the threat is over when Eggman comes to make an announcement. Eggman has a message for the crew, revealing what he's been doing all along. Everyone's confused until a giant Eggman mech drops down in front of the castle. I'll be putting both this episode and the one before it at the bottom, but this one is going above it. Now let's let the battle begin! The Eggman mech is ready for attack, and Eggman is back into his evil side fully. Everyone is already spent from taking out the other bots, and they have no idea how to deal with the Eggman mech. He fires a bullet at Axel, but Sonic takes the hit. This instantly makes Axel go zero mode and start attacking it. And to help, Silver tries to slow it down by freezing it, while Luigi and Tari tend to Sonic. Sonic has a little internal battle, so with newfound strength, he bounces back, ready to fight. Was he killed? Sadly, yes, but he lived. He's furious with Eggman and turns into some souped-up Dark Sonic. So him and Zero Axel put their powers together and send the mech to the ground in flames. Sonic goes up to him and asks him why being a villain mattered so much. He reveals that it's kinda all he ever knew. But the crew says that even though he tried to end the world, they're still his friends. They're way more forgiving than I'd expect. So with newfound hope, Eggman promises to lead a new chapter of his life, closing out the episode as well as the Eggman Empire Arc. Yep, this is the best episode of the series so far. Loved the action and the emotional bits too. It's spectacular.
Then we moved on to the Eggman Empire Arc, which is probably like was a big step in quality in my opinion. I had like help this time. I had a group of animators, as well as myself and writers, as well as voice actors, to all help me make these videos. It's like it's not just my series anymore. It's a bunch of people's. It's Glitchies, Ant Destroyers, Richard Animations. It's all their series as well, because I wanted to make the threat bigger than the Sinister Arc. Then the next one was, hey, Eggman's trying to take over the whole planet after you guys were all on good terms. I have no complaints with it, and I had so much fun doing it. My favorite episode from that arc definitely would have to be Meet the Sonic Trooper. No, I feel like the voice acting, the animation, just everything about it is just, I could watch it over and over and over again and just have so much happiness. I'll just have a smile on my face the whole time.
I agree. The Eggman Empire was definitely an improvement in every way. Now let's move on to the third and final arc, A Relic of Love. Sonic is pissed that Amy and Shadow have been hanging out, but denies having any feelings for her. He goes to confront them, but the gang is about to head out to investigate a relic that Nick found. Shadow reveals that he does like Amy, and calls out Sonic for his complex feelings regarding her. But following this, Shadow and Sonic and Nick look for whatever this relic is. Shadow manages to find it, and it gives him a vision of something. It also changes him, giving him white stripes and a new attitude. This was a solid starting episode and set up the future romance themes pretty well. Also, the Nick model looks nice. Amy has been worried about Shadow. He's been acting weird and ghosting her, so Sonic volunteers to see what his problem is. He tells Sonic how he's been thinking about how he never accepted Sonic as a friend, so the two of them start over as friends. But when Sonic leaves, something clearly isn't right. Amy asks Sonic to keep an eye on Shadow for the time being, but then Vector pops down, offering everyone a challenge. This is about the same quality as the last episode, but the last one is slightly better, so I'll put it below it. Luigi and Tari are hanging out when they decide to go on another date together, but before this, she helps Amy look for Shadow, but with no luck, so they ask Nick, where they learn Shadow was on the roof. Tari gives this info to Amy and runs off for the date. The date goes well, and the two end the night with a heartfelt kiss. Amy finally confronts Shadow about his recent behavior. He says he's been contemplating his feelings for her, and he just needs time to think about it, so she invites him to dinner and all seems well. But Shadow is seemingly possessed by something. The dating episode was cute as always, and the setup for future part of the arc was handled well too. Top of the list, now let's see what Vector has been up to. Vector has gathered up the boys for a challenge, with the help of Kane. The challenge is, last one to leave the rectangle wins, and the winner gets 4 Chaos Emeralds! Where did Kane get those? Anyway, the challenge begins and Vector is already losing his mind. He even throws Mario and Silver out of the arena. So SBO and Vector fight out of it, and Sonic wins by default. But meanwhile, whatever is possessing Shadow is planning something. This was just a goofy, fun episode, and I'll put it below changing feelings. Luigi and Tari return from their date, and Amy explains how things with Shadow have been improving. Steve questions Shadow's new voice, but he brushes it off. Shadow then decides to accompany Sonic and Tails on their quest for 2 Chaos Emeralds. Amy says how Shadow isn't like himself, but they all tell her she's just overthinking it. Then Nick and the gang go look for the final Chaos Emerald. After they find it, Tails reveals that the relic they found in episode 1 contained dark energy, and that Shadow's life might be in danger. The stakes are raising now. I'll put this below that date night one. Sonic is surprised that Shadow was willing to accompany him on him and Tails' Chaos Emerald mission, but Shadow excuses it with saying people change. Anyway, Sonic finally realizes that he's in love with Amy, but this combo is cut short by them finding the last Chaos Emerald, and just as he's getting it, Shadow transforms. This was cool, but it was over pretty quick, so I'll put it at the bottom. Back at the castle, Tails explains how the Shadow they've known is seemingly gone for good, replaced with the evil energy. There doesn't seem to be much options, but Nick has the idea to destroy the crystal, so Bowser takes a crack at it, and Shadow is back to normal. All is well, right? Well, Shadow reveals that an entity known as Mephiles had the goal of gathering the emeralds disguised as Shadow for an unknown task. Before they can get to Sonic, he's shot down and killed by Mephiles. Using the final Chaos Emerald, he powers up and destroys reality. Things are not looking good for the cast now. This is going above connecting the dots. Now let's see what Mephiles is planning. The gang finds themselves in a mysterious realm, and they have no idea what it is. They all make sure they're okay, but then they realize Sonic has passed away, and he's not coming back this time. Everyone is devastated by this, and Shadow reveals that Mephiles plans to destroy everything in existence. Nick has the idea to use the Chaos Emeralds to bring Sonic back, and Amy is chosen as the leader. So with the power of the Chaos Emeralds and a kiss from Amy, Sonic rises once again. Sonic and the gang are ready to take out Mephiles once and for all, and using the Chaos Emeralds, they're all given powered up new forms, so they head off into the portal to put a stop to this. Yep, this was truly peak. Amy reviving Sonic was a very heartfelt scene, and the gang powering up to defeat Mephiles went incredibly hard. This is the best episode yet, and now the only thing left is one more episode. The Super Gang goes face to face with Mephiles, fully intent on taking him down and saving the world. Mephiles doesn't even have a goal, he's just ending the universe because he can. So with that, the Supers do their best at fighting him, but they can't even put a dent in him. Don't worry though, cause Sonic has an idea. Put all their powers together for a supercharged final attack. So they focus their energy into a concentrated power blast, finally taking out Mephiles and letting the world live in peace for just a little longer. When they get back home, Sonic tells Amy that he's fine with them just being friends, and that he isn't the right one for her. Not only that, but he gets his blessing to Amy and Shadow's love, so Mephiles is dead, and love is in the air. If a diamond in the rough was the best, this is even better. The action scenes against Mephiles were funny and thrilling at the same time, not to mention the complicated love triangle between Amy, Sonic, and Shadow finally being put to rest. And you know what? That was the last episode, so we're done!
Lastly, the newest, lastly, a Relic of Love arc, the latest arc in the series. That one, I wanted to up the quality, but also up the stakes. Like, last time it was, the whole world being taken over. This time, I wanted to be, the universe was at stake. Like, time and space itself would be destroyed. Their universe would be gone if they lose. And I'm okay with making heroes lose. Sometimes it happens. But, of course, I didn't make the heroes lose. They won in the end, but they definitely took a lot of losses in the beginning because I wanted to tell a story more driven on romance, but also have more action. Yeah, so I definitely really enjoyed making the arc because I wanted to make something that was more romance driven because that is one of my favorite things about my series. Yeah, so I definitely wanted to test my creativity and my storytelling ability by making the best action-packed story I could with the skills I have. But yeah, so I'd say my favorite episode from the Relic of Love arc. That'd be really difficult to choose because I genuinely think that, honest to God, is our best arc yet. It's truly a blessing. But my favorite episode from that arc probably is A Diamond in the Rough, just because I animated that whole episode by myself, and it really tested me. It made me I had to put in a lot of sleepless nights. I had to put in a lot of time and effort to edit the video to make it good. And I genuinely think that with the skills I currently possess, I think that was the best I could have done at that moment.
Like Nick said, this was definitely the best arc yet. Now, let's rank all the episodes from worst to best. Alright, from worst to best, we've got 27, The Easter Disaster. 26, Mario and Sonic do something very illegal. 25, Sonic vs. Sinister. 24, A Sinister Situation. 23, I Am the Eggman. 22, A Sinister Discovery. 21, Eggman's Announcement. 20, The Mysterious Employer. 19, Destructive Friendships. 18, Misplaced Trust. 17, Eggman's Denial. 16, Meet the Sonic Trooper. 15, Enter Chaos Sonic. 14, An Upgraded Mess. 13, Something's Off with Shadow. 12, The Competition from Hell. 11, Changing Feelings. 10, Metal Madness. 9, Find the Chaos Emerald. 8, Connecting the Dots. 7, Sonic and the Amazing Digital Circus. 6, Revealing the Dark Truth. 5, Luigi's Date Night. 4, Tari's Late Night Date Fiasco. 3, A Diamond in the Rough. 2, Long Live the Eggman Empire. 1, This is the Final Stand.